tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show here at AfterBuzz TV for the Celebrity Apprentice. We're on season 14, episode 3/4. They're burning those off. And the episode is Family Affair. I am your host tonight, Grant Rutter, and tonight next to me...
Hey guys, I'm Jessica Carroll.
And money! I'm Christy Olsen. I love this jam.
And we're here to talk about some money.
Oh,
Yes,
talk about
some
big bucks.
big money.
Lots of
Big
money.
bucks.
Yes, let's get into the celeb app, as I like to call it. And we have 2 episodes to cover. One, which was a kind of an obvious choice on who was leaving, and another one where there's a win that didn't have to really do with the project manager's performance for once. So it was exciting. I thought it was actually a really good double block of episodes. What did you think?
The second half was really exciting. I loved the twist
Finally.
that Donald Trump put on the last episode, and I think that switching up the teams, they just worked better together. So I really liked the boy-girl mix-up. I think it should stay like that.
It's like the producers woke up on this episode. They're like, oh, we better produce this show now.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I liked how
Big twist.
Yeah, I liked how Geraldo and Ian, they don't like each other, and they were both project managers. So that kept like even the competition between the 2 teams that much more intense.
Well, I was surprised at first that he would split them up because having them on the same team was causing so much drama.
Right. And that's why, there was also a lot of drama on his team because both housewives were on the same team.
Yeah, Donald wasn't going to make that mistake.
No.
No, right.
Well, speaking of mistakes that the Donald made, at the very beginning of this episode, didn't we both comment that he looked a little downtrodden? Right, the opening shot of the first show, and I thought maybe that was that he's spoken to the producers since last episode, and he knew he made a big mistake in eliminating Kevin Jonas.
Why would you
think,
send
yeah.
Kevin home? He was the #1 celebrity on the show this season.
Yeah, and I think he wasn't going to let that kind of stuff happen again. He wasn't going to send a Brandy or a Kenya home.
Right.
And Jamie got the boot.
Well, it took me like half the episode to understand who was the project
I was just going to
manager of the
say,
show.
you don't need to worry about remembering who Jamie is anymore.
Right.
She's
No,
gone.
no. But there was a 2-shot of those 2 Olympians, and I mean, come on, it's not that obvious. It's not like the 2 of you ladies. You're very different looking. I mean, I mean, it's like I can differentiate. But those 2, it was
Be
like
careful.
I was like I couldn't tell who was who.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let's move on. What?
I said try dating twins.
Well,
yeah, seriously.
forget it. So I
I
mean,
think Phil just told us something about himself.
I've dated twins, yes.
really?
Sexy.
Well, in this one, we had Johnny, and then we had this girl,
Jamie.
Sorry, I'm not kidding.
The Jays.
The
and
2
Jamie.
against each other, and so we'll just break it down real quick. Johnny, his whole idea with this editorial spread, which I really like the task. Actually, it was to love your selfie naked. Okay,
It's a great catchphrase.
Hey,
Yeah.
I was excited just to see him naked and Terrell. So I
Really?
was.
I think he was just excited to show his wife off naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, but I loved the concept. He was smart. He goes, you know what? We have this concept, naked sells. I have a beautiful wife, and I loved
Sports Illustrated model.
Right.
Wife.
And I loved the idea where he was like, let's take pictures, and we want it to be like very intimate. Well, I can be extremely intimate with my own wife. And I like the couples concept. I really
Yeah.
liked it. And
Yeah.
of course, selfie is huge right now. So they really targeted on that trending, selfie idea.
Right. I was shocked, though, that he wanted to bring his wife in front of all of his kind of new buddies and have her stripped down, and they're
She
on
was
the couch.
topless,
And
yeah.
There was a lot of blurring there.
He wanted to do that. He wanted to show her off.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. And then there was the other team, the women's. They had, first of all, let's talk about Jamie's charity because I'm questioning it.
Thank you.
It's Protect Your Winters, which I'm sure there are people out
AKA
there.
the dumbest charity ever.
Well, there was,
That's not charity.
Well, I mean, then you've got someone like Ian who's fighting for a real cause that he's like, not that that's not real, but there are charities out there that are really helping people, children, women, the downtrodden,
Right, the wounded warrior.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, okay, I don't know what this winter is. I mean, it was to fight global warming, but how do you fight global warming? Does Donald even believe in global warming? I mean,
well, she's gone. We don't need to worry about her anymore.
Yeah, no, but I'm just questioning the charity choice.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good that silly charity didn't get a dime when everyone else is fighting for soldiers, kids, battered women. I mean, come on.
Well, Terrell's charity is his own charity.
Winter sucks. Sorry.
Well, we don't need to fight for the winter. There's enough cold here.
I'm a native Minnesotan. I had to get that out.
Well, I liked that the men's team actually had a vision with this whole couples thing, where the other side, other than Lisa kind of being like, she pointed out, she was like, there's a huge split here on sexy and then the Olympians. It was just kind of like, what is this?
Right. I liked their first idea with the Olympians. I liked them with the flag and having, Olympians. We all look up to them.
So marketable.
We want to know how they train. We want to know what they eat.
We think fitness when we think Olympians.
Right. And then I think it was honestly Kenya, when she was trying to direct Brandy, she wanted to bring that sex and that skin and that sex appeal.
She just wanted to point out that Brandy didn't have a booty when
Exactly.
she does.
She was just so jealous that she wasn't the one up there showing off her lovely curves. And she wanted to make Brandy feel insecure and prove to her that she's a stick figure or whatever she said. And I think that it was Kenya who completely twisted the idea of what they were trying to go for.
And she went so far out of her way to make Brandy feel insecure when it seemed like Brandy was pretty insecure to begin with. She refused to take off her top at first, and I don't think she needed any hey, Brandy doesn't have as big of a booty. Brandy was already feeling pretty bad about what she was bringing to the table. But I don't know why.
Exactly, but when she took it off, damn, that girl looked hot.
What do you guys think of Go for the Gold?
Ooh. I like that.
Let's see.
They could have done that.
See, they needed Phil. They needed you.
What was their slogan thing? What was it?
It was touch me.
Right.
Touch me. You want a touchable you. You want a touchable body.
Well, Donald loves
when
when
people...
touch
you.
Yeah, that didn't translate at all.
I touch you.
I don't know. To me, when they had their presentation, they had those 3 cardboard, images of what the pages would look like, which at this point it would never be published because it's a year old practically. But I'm like, okay, whatever this is, it didn't translate to me at all. It was like Brandy with this trainer. Okay, she was in the zip up at that time, and then at the end, Kenya did sell that last picture to me of the couple laying next to each other because they worked out and they have their confidence level to have that sexual drive to each other. But if she didn't say that, I'd be like, why are there 2 people in bed? That doesn't translate to health and fitness at all. There was no plan, diet plan.
Right.
I don't know. Kenya has to reel it in because she's real quick to tell everyone that she's got the vision. She knows what she's doing. She's the smartest one. She's the queen of the team.
And
the strongest player.
Stop saying you wrote a book. We know there's several books out there with your names on, authored by, written by, blah, 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 so and so. We all know you all have ghostwriters. None of you are coming across as that intelligent. Stop saying, I wrote a book. I have 5 books published. What?
In this
I could do that too.
Right. Well, I do think that Kenya always steps up, though. She makes a decision and she holds it. She is always... we're always talking about her. So she's definitely doing something right.
Her mission accomplished.
But in this game, is it wise to take huge praise for yourself and to show everybody and to make sure Donald has no question that you're doing the most?
It's working for Geraldo.
True, but I mean, I would leave a little bit of space so you're not completely the owner of all these tasks and the star player of your team. I wouldn't say I'm the star player of my team.
It's funny it hasn't backfired on her. sometimes when people take so much responsibility
that's
for
what
what
I'm
they've
warning
done,
her. Yeah.
Donald says, "Oh, well, that's what was not good about it. You're fired."
Right. You know, it's very interesting though, because we have Kenya, who we talk about every episode. She's always brought up in the boardroom. And then we have someone like Sig, who we have never mentioned his name.
He hasn't had a line.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Is he an extra?
Right. But he's never been brought back in the room. You know, it's like,
And that's not even the flying under the radar in a good way. He's just doing nothing.
yeah. Same with
yeah.
Lorenzo. I mean,
We didn't
Lorenzo.
hear one word. I was keeping track. Not one word out of Lorenzo's mouth tonight.
Right. So the girls' team, we're talking pretty much about everyone all the time. The guys'
Yeah.
team, it's like Sig and Lorenzo, hello, where are you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have just never been cast. I mean, that's reality 101. You have to cast dynamic personalities, diversity, people who are going to deliver. I mean, there's a problem when two people have, in a team show for 2 hours, have no dialogue.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything. I mean, we'll get into the next task. Sig basically, pushed people into the store, but okay,
Aggressively.
he's not going to win, player of the week doing that.
Right.
So, all right. One thing I wanted to point out that I was a little thrown off was this pole dancing segment they wanted to add on the men's team. I guess it was like the couples, but I didn't see how he played into that. To me, it was like, okay, yeah.
Because Ian's wife enjoys pole dancing.
Well, yeah, but as
He
a
just
couple,
wanted
though,
to
did they do
write
it
an
together?
article. He just wanted to have something to say. He wanted to write his article. He wanted to be doing something. That was just again, Johnny was saying, "Look at my hot wife," and then Ian wanted to say, "Well, my wife pole dances."
Yeah, but it was
He probably
yeah, I
just wanted
guess.
to make everyone out there know that his wife can pole dance.
By the way, I'm sure their wives are both intelligent. I'm sure they're great mothers. I'm sure they're wonderful women. Maybe we could highlight that.
Well, and then it was awkward that there was some model who clearly was not his wife on a pole behind him, and he's standing there in his little vest and tie with
was an
a
awkward
Kool-Aid
picture.
smile on. I'm like, why is this? Did they end up using that image?
Yeah.
I think they did.
On like the third page or something.
Oh Lord!
And that was
well.
such a weird fitness phase, like 4 or 5 years ago or something.
Pole
Yeah.
dancing is still big. Are you kidding? There's still fitness classes that are pole dancing, and honestly, I kind of want to try it. If it was in Cosmo and they said check out the studio, I would go check out this pole
I'm
dance.
sure it is
It's-
a great workout.
It's very Cosmo of them to have that in there. I mean, both of these teams, in my opinion, didn't miss the mark when it came to selling sex. And I thought one for sure would overlook it and just be and kind of miss that part of the brand of Cosmo. But I feel like they both got it. I mean, how much further can you take it?
Yeah.
I mean, Cosmo takes it pretty far, but
I mean, in both of their presentations with Johnny and his wife, nude basically in bed or on the couch, and the other one, Randy was on top
Randy
of.
got in there too.
Well, that's
always gets
Cosmo.
some
I mean,
action.
you
Yeah.
open any Cosmo magazine, you see naked people
Yeah.
in bed together. So they
got it.
They understood their audience. The one positive thing said on the girls' team was that they clearly read the magazine. They had those pop words that obviously really spoke to the audience. The guys, surprisingly, I mean, good thing their wives read it because they still had the right feeling on what the magazine would go for.
And when they had the presentation on the women's team, Jamie gave her she kind of read through a card, but she had her back to the the people she was presenting to. She just wasn't a good host. I think, Kenya kind of saved that. I'll give her that. But maybe she shouldn't have been the spokesperson. It just was that's an easy fix.
Right.
there.
And there's so many people that could have.
yeah. Did we think she was a decent project manager? I mean, she just didn't do much.
you know
Let's rate
anything.
her and then Johnny.
Well, once again, she makes a decision and then she's so wishy-washy. Oh, I don't know, should we not do this? It's and that's why their presentation was so disconnected.
Yeah.
Because she made a decision, okay, let's do Olympians. Oh yeah, let's also do sexy. Oh yeah, let's also
Let's do a model.
Yeah. It was
And Donald Trump hates indecision. He hates it. He's called people out on that before. She should have known.
she walked into that boardroom and she put herself in her own hole. She said all of the things you never say in a boardroom in front of Donald Trump. And the first time you ever get fired in your life, you don't want to be fired by Donald Trump.
It never ends well when a project manager goes back on who they brought into the boardroom. Yeah. It always goes. It's always bad.
Did you guys even believe she tried?
She
Like,
said,
come
Donald
on,
Trump,
did anyone
I
think that that was
made a
gonna fly?
mistake. She told Donald Trump she made a mistake. She made the wrong decision.
There would have been a better way to play that, I'm sure. I bet if those ladies would have gotten their heads together, Kenya and Kate, I mean, they could have thought of a way to somehow at least have Donald agree to bring Brandy back or something. They could have connived that a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Jamie said straight out she didn't want to start a fight. She went into this task as a team player. I mean, just like all the don'ts. And then what do you think of them bringing up her age? Is that an excuse for her kind of lackluster performance because she's 22?
They all should have known that it wouldn't be an excuse when, as Donald Trump said, he was building huge buildings at 20. And if I'm going to go work for somebody, I've done my research, and I would know that if he's built big buildings at 20, that he's not going to feel bad for me at 22 being indecisive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Basically, I'm reading like the
And that's
negatives. The negatives on the women's team, why they lost, was that there was no challenge listed. There was just exercises. There wasn't really a clear vision for where they were going, and that the 4 different sections were divided. So the gauntlet went down. We said goodbye. The only thing that Jamie really did was she said that the housewives, only because she was prompted, but she said that they were like the downfall of the team.
It was hilarious how she just referred to them as the
Housewives.
housewives.
Yeah,
I know.
Because that's what we do, but I wouldn't think in the boardroom when you want to acknowledge that people are individuals and give them
The
credit
housewives.
or tear them. Yeah.
Yeah.
This girl even asked Donald, "Do you want to fire me?" Like, who in any job would you ever turn to your manager?
Yes, you're boring and your charity is dumb. I do want to
Let's
fire
remember, you guys, she's a snowboarder. Not saying she's not
came
intelligent,
across
but
as
she
one to
doesn't
me.
work in that type of environment, you know?
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, indecision was the end of her. Goodbye.
Yeah.
What about Kenya and Brandy's little, my booty's real, your booty's fake? I mean, really? I'm kind of shocked that people think that Brandy is being so bad, though, on this show. That, amongst all the Brandy comments that Brandy has made on reality TV, that's pretty low down there. That's, I mean, she said some outrageous things. She tears people apart. She says awful things about people. And I find it so funny that people think she's being awful, because this is not awful Brandy.
No.
Trust me, this is not crazy Brandy.
This is like network Brandy. Like, you know, like I'm going to just show a little bit of my
Right.
side, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, Brandy's a great team player. You know, she always steps up. She'll do whatever she needs to.
Surprisingly so.
But she's not a positive person. Like, she doesn't
No.
feed positive energy. She
She-
doesn't encourage someone. She's just there. She'll do what she needs to. She, you know, obviously she brought in good money. She does try hard. She just doesn't motivate and bring that positive energy,
she's
which
kind of-
sometimes
She-
you really
yeah, she
need to
does.
keep a team together.
She claims she's very positive. That's
No.
what she said. She's like, I'm a positive person, and Kenya's just
Only
evil.
when she takes her pills.
Yeah, well, if you watch Beverly Hills Housewives, if you watched What
Yes.
Happens Live, you know that she really does. It's not really alleged. She does. So there you go.
Last week on Andy Cohen's show, Brandy admitted she laid it all out there, which ones, how much she takes, and if you listen to that, you'll go, oh, that's why
Yeah.
she's so bat crap silly.
Well, in between tasks, T.O. didn't miss an opportunity to touch Kenya's ass.
Yeah.
To see if it was real. Now, there's so much speculation. She's had a workout video to get a bigger behind. I mean, who knows what the real truth is? She'll never admit it.
Well, we should be able to. We should just Google before and after pictures. People do this all the time.
Yeah.
There's celebrities up there. I mean, if you look up Nicki Minaj's before and after,
Oh,
Iggy
please.
Azalea's before and after, it's super obvious.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let me do my Google
Okay.
research, and I'll let you know next week my official opinion on Kenya's booty.
Well, Donald asked straight out, and Kenya was like, perhaps. That was her answer. Like, can you get a fake ass implant? And she's like, perhaps. Like, that's not really like an answer. Like, that's like a giveaway. But all right, I mean, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
We're gonna have to Google it.
I'm enjoying Kenya on the show, though. I do
am too.
like her.
More than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I just like that she steps up. You know,
Yeah.
she really is in to win it, and I like that mindset of her.
Well,
Some
we're-
of them act like they just couldn't care less.
I was just gonna say,
Really.
like, we're starting to see who really wants to be there and who's just like rolling out of bed to show up and do this task and not care.
Yeah.
Right, who's there for a paycheck.
Yep.
And I know Ian is a little motivational and does his speeches, but you know, he is such a great guy. I mean, I've interviewed him a few times on the red carpet, and he has such a big heart. You can tell he's really in it to raise money for his charity. And even as project manager, yeah, his speech might have been a little long, a little washy-wash, whatever, but it was cute. It was cute, and you know, he wants to motivate people and say, listen, we're raising money not for ourselves, we're raising money for a charity to make a difference for all of these children that we can help affect. And and even at the end, after the boardroom, when he has a little moment with T.O., I liked it. It was sweet of him, and it's probably something I would do too. I mean, I don't know.
I wonder what T.O. thought of that.
Yeah,
he was like, "Are you kidding me?"
T.O. probably thought, "Okay, you're sucking up to me. You just got me fired."
Yeah, well, that's like if Phil talked to us and gave us like a little pep talk, and then at the end, I went up to you and was like, "Yeah, no, you really are kind of doing a good job." Why?
I wouldn't appreciate that.
I know, but it's it's Donald's show. You have to be showboating like that. I mean, it's kind of unnecessary. I don't know, that's my opinion. But yeah, I enjoyed Ian's project management skills, and I thought he was one of the better ones this time. So let's talk about the task. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sure.
Well, maybe Ian is just trying to carve out a niche as a motivational speaker, or maybe he's going to write a self-help book, and he's just trying to launch that.
He might as
From
well.
Sharknado to self-help book. Okay, good one.
You too can fight sharks.
Now would be the time for him to do it. He's back into the world of relevancy. Let's keep it going, you know?
Okay, well, let's talk about him, though. Go ahead and describe the task.
Sure. We'll just recap real quick. They had this wedding boutique, which was a strange task, especially that, I don't know, it was just a weird task that they had to sell. They could sell these dresses for however much they wanted. The biggest gainer would win the task. The person who raised the most, excuse me. So that was it. Geraldo was more than happy to square off with Ian, and I thought he was going to let it really distract him. That versus, that feud. But in the end, it really didn't. But Ian was there for the right reasons.
I was surprised that Geraldo stepped up again. I was wondering if he would start to worry about his money-raising ability. You know, if he exhausts everybody, I mean, even Geraldo Rivera can only know so many people with so much money.
How many Fox?
Already raised so much.
How many Fox News anchors can walk in the door?
Exactly.
I wish we knew exactly how much each individual person raised. I mean, we kind of found out on the losing team, on Ian's team, but we didn't really find out on Geraldo's team. And I'm interested, how much did Sig raise? You know,
we'll never know.
Lorenzo, once again, it's I wish we actually knew each person how much they raised. Do we even know how much Geraldo himself personally made?
No, and Ian's $165,000 check might look piddly next to whatever. I mean, somebody had to raise a lot of money on the other team. Where did that come from?
Right, because two of their, team members, Sig and Lorenzo, in previous episodes we saw in the last fundraising task, they raised nothing.
Yeah.
So, and Kate, we know she did bring in
30,000, and that guy did not look happy parting with his 30 grand. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the new rich boyfriend or what, but he did not look happy about bringing that money.
I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him.
No.
He looked at the guy. The guy looked a little young.
But in my opinion, I think Geraldo and then Vivica, they must have raised majority of the money.
Well, with regards to Geraldo stepping up to be the project manager again so early, when we go down the line towards the end of this and they're down to the finals, and it's the final top 4 or 5, they look at who's had the most wins, who's been called in the boardroom the most, so they really look at that record. So in a way, he's being smart. He's out of everybody else on the show, he's been the one that's gone up twice, he's won twice.
Right.
So he's already set himself up, and he's already Donald's favorite from before they started rolling. So he's set. I mean, I really think that it's going to come down to him and then a few strays. I really do.
He wasn't quite as annoying this episode.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite as annoying, and I thought you guys might think this is funny. Last week, he tweeted after the episodes where he was very annoying, and he tweeted and said, how did I go from the hero to the villain? He thought that he had been the hero in that first episode, so I thought you'd all get a kick out of that.
Well, I was a little annoyed by him.
He thought he went from a hero to a villain.
Obviously, he really steps up and he performs well when it has to deal with raising money.
But keep your pants on. I don't need to see your underwear. I
He
mean,
created that whole selfie thing. He suggested that just so he could bring this up.
Oh,
And I don't
for
know if you all
sure.
remember this, but 2 years ago, Geraldo put a selfie out there, totally bottoms up, but like you could see, went down pretty far.
Too far. Way too far.
Way too far for someone his age, and it made a big splash. So I think he just wanted the chance to reference that again. Like, hey, remember Mo Slick's
But
Yep.
I do have to give him the credit. He is 72 or 70?
I think that's what he said, 70, yeah.
70 years old, and he looks good. I mean, his body for a 70-year-old, that guy is healthy.
Minus the prison tats. What were
Yeah.
those? They look like those old school like sailor tattoos
Well, that's
that are
what-
done
yeah,
in prison.
that's what-
Right?
that's what
Someone was like- I
happens.
think it was like an
Too
anchor or a
close over
tiger or something.
yeah, I mean, but that's
I always
how.
gotta check out the tats. I love tats on a man.
That's what a lot of people are going to look like, though. A lot of people have arms full, like sleeves. I mean,
I hate tattoos.
that's what's gonna. I'm not about them either, but that's that's the future.
Either. Hear his accent? Not about it either.
Nope, not about it. Let's talk real quick about the Chippendales that made an appearance.
gosh.
So, a tighter body, maybe.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was great.
So, if you were to walk up, these shops are right next to each other. There's the Chippendales here, and then there's Kate Gosselin in a wedding dress. Which one are you going to pursue?
freaking
Ladies.
the boys all the way. Kate
sure.
annoys me, and she was just like complaining in a wedding dress. Like saying, don't say I have 8 kids, that'll make them run away. Yeah, no kidding. Anything you do will make people run away.
And then she was scolding Sig not to be so aggressive.
Yeah, if that
Which-
wasn't enough, you have Sig Hansen grabbing. Come here. Do you want to dress? Are you married? Let me see. Do you have a ring on? Like that's like
Wrong hand,
Can you
buddy.
not touch me? Can you not like please like?
Like lawsuit waiting to happen.
Seriously.
Yeah. And they are
They
supposed.
didn't even, sorry, but they didn't even show the hairdresser, guys.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
wonder whatever happened with that because that seemed like a great idea. And for someone like Kate who has just appeared so dumb and out of ideas, I'm sorry. I straight up called her dumb last week. Sorry, reference.
Oh, so did Donald.
Well, yes. She finally had 2 good ideas that task.
I know,
Not
they
one,
never
but
even
2
showed
good
it, and that was a
ideas.
good idea.
Yeah, and those are pretty big celebrity hairstylists.
Well, on the same note of what you're saying, they were supposed to be judging on the overall presentation. Like I wrote all this down, but it's the same thing. Like how did the success? Not only just how much money did you raise, but like the engagement or whatever. And I mean, like they had like those dead sticks, like the birch wood. I mean,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
never commented on any type of engagement or how it looked. Like when the other and Eric came, he didn't really have any opinion.
Right.
But they usually give bonuses for that stuff, and they didn't on this test. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, why even bother?
Right, because on the pie one, which was also the fun or the raising money, they had the taste
Yeah.
test.
25,000 extra for
Right.
whose tastes
and
better.
this time they were supposed to also be judged on the overall presentation, and just like you said, none of it was strictly about the money.
Yeah. You know what they should have done? They should have said, whoever wins this, if you the best presentation will round up with how much you've made.
And that would have made a big difference here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that in a minute. There was a little bit of rounding up on Donald's behalf, but that would have been a better, come on, let's put our minds together and like produce like this,
Right.
make it a little bit more higher stakes, I think, than just like who's pulling in the most. It's just
That's
so
what I mean about the lazy
blah.
producing.
Yeah, I mean,
Right? But
I'm a
they made
huge
up for
fan
it.
of the
They made
show,
up for
but
it.
yeah, I love the show. I mean, but it's like, yeah, I mean,
You're doing good at the end there, guys.
it's kind of like, this show is very formulaic, and it's like the same music and
Yeah.
the same cuts. They walk in the
same-
slow motion into the
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 Donald
room.
Trump walking into the boardroom.
And that music cue, it's very much like almost like a soap opera where it's like you're very methodical and how it's done year after year, 14 seasons. So it's kind of like, the
But
the
there's
ratings
a lot
are.
of reality shows like that. I mean, I think Top Chef comes to mind immediately, and they also vary always the same. You got your winners, you got your losers. They're judged, but they always think of these crazy twists, things that come out
Well,
of nowhere,
yeah.
things you
You
wouldn't
know-
expect. They're on more seasons than Celebrity Apprentice,
Right.
And that doesn't seem stale.
The one thing that was not the same these 2 episodes was Donald Trump always compliments the person right before he fires
Yes.
them. He did not have anything good to say about poor Jamie.
No.
He said that she couldn't make a decision. She didn't step up as the project manager. Negative, 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 and
should've brought Brandon
you're
in.
fired.
Yeah, that's like don't ever compliment me or tell me you respect me because I know that's you're coming up at the wall.
Yeah.
You're gonna come and you're gonna knock me out. That's what you're gonna do.
He wanted Kenya and Brandy in that boardroom with her just to have that scene, just
Drama.
to get that
Yeah.
drama. And when she didn't give it to him, he was like, "Forget you. Adios.
Yep.
I don't have anything good to say about you, so
See you
bye-bye.
later.
She's a classic example of what you don't do in front of Donald Trump and what you don't say.
Right.
It's just like, all right, goodbye.
Speaking of what you don't do, what did you guys think about Brandy just going home with her panic attack?
No. Terrell Owens said he wanted to be at the hotel too, clearly.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was ticked. He was like, she gets to go home and lay down. I want to go home and lay down.
He couldn't have done any less. At least that's what we saw. I mean, perhaps he was slinging the dresses over his back and hanging them up. I don't know, but I didn't see him do anything but eat a hamburger.
I was going to say he could do a little less eating, but
Yeah.
Well, when he took his shirt off, it was all good.
yeah, he eats just
You're okay. Yeah.
keep
what
doing
was
what you're
that?
doing to you.
And I was surprised that they didn't get on her more about that. And why wouldn't you bring her into the boardroom based solely on that alone?
Well, it's because she raised more money.
Oh, that's true.
So but I honestly do think that Brandy, I think she did have a panic attack. I think
panic
she
attack meaning she needed a glass of champagne.
I think that she
That's her definition of panic
she
attack.
overplayed it, but I think that she did go home and really try to reach her contacts to raise that money. I do. I think that
That's
she
giving
went
her a lot of
home and
credit.
she called, did her phone calls, this and that. And I think that she really was like, you know what, I'm going to go home, but I'm at the same time, I'm going to bring in a lot of money tomorrow.
It's just not a good look. You've got everybody else calling like a delicate flower. She's fragile, and this is a cutthroat game, as they keep saying. It's just like you just don't do that. I mean, we've all been on set or been somewhere
Right.
where we
Long
just stick
days.
it out. It's like a 14-hour day, and you're ready to go, but nobody else says you got to stick it out. She's on a show. Come on.
And,
Right.
You know, she talks so much about her boys and how much being a mom is important to her. I haven't heard her mention once that she misses her children.
Yeah.
She's based in LA. This is in New York. She's in New York for an extended period of time for this. And I'm surprised that she at least wouldn't use that as an excuse. Like, oh, I'm just so worried. I have to go home and talk to my sons. I'm a crazy mom. I mean, people buy the crazy mom thing all the time. She should have used that over panic attack.
I haven't heard
Next
Kate,
time, Brandy.
I haven't heard Kate talk about her children, like
Oh, I'm
missing
sure the crazy
them.
mom excuse is coming on her end,
I
too.
think it's coming up. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Her kids are also very close. Kate's probably going
that's
home.
true. That's true. Pennsylvania isn't too far.
If she demanded that they fly
Right.
her in every week for Dancing with the Stars, I'm guessing she got the same kind of a deal over at The Apprentice.
Oh, she's got them working for her. she thinks she's working. They're all working for her.
But I think Kate did step up this episode with the wedding dresses. She had good ideas. She really interacted well with Geraldo. She clearly married him. Little strange,
Yeah.
but that's okay. And I like, you can always see Donald Trump's personality come out when Geraldo's involved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He loves him. Why
They're
does
clearly BFFs.
The man is going to win.
yeah?
Might not be just, might not be the right choice.
Oh, they're like buddies.
And the way Trump referenced Geraldo's wife just made it sound like they are all very, very chummy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your wife wouldn't like that. I know her pretty good. Remember when we had dinner last Sunday? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're clearly like this.
And what did he say the very first boardroom? He said, Geraldo, I would hate to fire you.
Yeah.
How can I ever fire Geraldo Rivera? So, I mean, that set the standard right there. And everybody else is like, expendable, I guess. But we're slowly kind of burning off these expendables.
Yes,
like
they're finally starting to go.
And the athletes always burn out early, as Donald always says himself, and that seems to be the case here. But these two teams, they lost. One of them lost by only $2,500.
I cannot believe that. Together they raised $600,000.
Crazy.
And there was only a $2,500 difference. That is
Ouch.
insane. Literally, when he read off the first number, I was like, oh, they won. Quickly, I was doing math in my head. I'm not good at math at all. But $2,500 more. The other team, Geraldo, won.
I almost wonder if that's true or real, but you'd think they could have made it 10 or 20 grand and it still would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that that's really what happened.
Well, let's go through how much everybody gave, because I always think it's interesting to see how much people raised. So Brandy raised $40,000. This is all like I assume so.
That's a lot.
Like I assume these people. This is what they said. According to them, Brandy raised $40,000. Kenya 35. Kenya always has such a scowl on her face when Brandy's talking. She's all smiles when the camera's on her, but as soon as Brandy's talking, she's like angry. Lisa 20,000, Terrell 5,000, maybe 10. He doesn't know. Johnny also doesn't claim to know what he
He
raised.
said around 11.
Yeah, I mean, Wouldn't
They
you
know.
know?
They know. They
exactly.
obviously
If it's a
know.
fundraising task and you know you're going to be questioned because you were questioned 3 weeks ago.
Right. You're going to
And
know.
Terrell Owens did the same thing when they asked him on the first task.
Yeah.
They say they don't know because they're ashamed that they didn't raise enough.
I don't know. Terrell, did you want to do the show? I'm curious. I want to know. I don't know. It seems kind of like he like showed up.
I think he's really in a mode right now where he's trying to get himself out there. He walks a lot of red carpets. You've said too, we interview him all the time on the red carpet.
I just interviewed him at the World Dog Awards, and he was the only celebrity, I think, without a dog.
Wow.
Yep, he walked it dogless. He said that he was there to see what kind of dog he would like to get in the future.
Well, I'm
that
all
is some grade A attention whoring.
And he
I like
randomly,
that.
during our interview, asked if I snored at night. Not really sure how relevant that
I already
was, but-
explained to her that he wanted to sleep with her, but she does not buy that.
I'm all for a hustle. I'm all
Terrell,
for
you
a
want to
hustle.
come in and do another interview with us? We'd love you.
I'm all for a hustle, but I mean, it's a little early to be like being like, meh, I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, it's just a little early for that, but, you know, whatever. So then Donald came up with this twist. You know, we all saw
Loved
that
it.
I
there
loved the
was
twist.
this, you can either be all or nothing. If you are super confident you won, you can say, I'm going to put everything on the line, all or nothing, or you can split 50-50. And both gentlemen decided that it was smart to do half and half. I don't know if I would have done that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You would
I
have gone
think just
all
for the
balls to wall?
just for the sake of not looking like a complete jerk. I think that's what they went for.
Right.
Yeah, even Geraldo didn't want to look like
Yeah.
that much of an ass.
You know the producers were hoping someone would just be stupid enough like me to just be like, please go all in, because it would be so much more dramatic.
Right.
You know, it would have been different for Geraldo. It's different that he made that decision because his charity has already gotten 180 grand or something,
Right.
and clearly
Yeah.
are going to get a lot more. So if he would have said, I want it all, and Ian's charity will get nothing when he brought in a $165,000 check, that would have been pretty rude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well,
At least they've got
I
worthy
was-
charities.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I thought Ian would have maybe gone all in, but I think because Geraldo went first and said, let's split it, I think Ian was like, okay.
You think so?
I
think
agree with
he would
you.
have been the most afraid about looking like a jerk. You know, he's trying to do this like nice guy thing. I don't know.
But he's so passionate
I
about
know.
that. I feel
That's
like he
true.
would let the passion kind of make the most of him, you know, just kind of be like, no, we won. We're going to do it. We're going to go all in. But yeah, no,
And I
once Geraldo claimed,
And I think that Ian purposely had Geraldo go first just to
yeah.
see what he would say.
Oh, definitely.
And then I think that completely, I think if Geraldo was like, let's go all in, Ian would have said, all right, let's go
do
all in.
it. Yeah. Let's
I
both
wonder
be
what would have
jerks.
happened if they both said different things. It would have just
Well, that's
been
what
on.
I was wondering.
It
Yeah.
would have been
Right.
whoever team won, right? They would have
I
said,
would suppose, yeah, the decision would go to the winner.
Right. So it came down to Johnny, Terrell, and Ian, and it was clear that Ian was not going to be going home.
No, he did a great job.
For once, a project manager was not in the firing lines, you know, so I was okay. And I was like, obvious, it's going to be obvious who it is. And even T.O. was like, yeah, well, it's a fundraising task. I didn't raise anything, so.
I'm
He
going
had
home.
nothing to say. Yeah.
Although, what
No
would be a good
defense.
defense? What would be a good defense?
Well, you're a football player. Come up with a defense.
I mean, Kate,
on.
Kate Goslin survived, and
she raised nothing.
She raised nothing,
Yeah.
so she could find an excuse. So, I don't know.
I mean, his excuse could have been, oh, well, I brought this and this and this else to the table,
I ate that burger
but there
real
was nothing
good,
else
y'all.
that he brought to the table.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I really took care of the food table.
Yeah, I just I don't know what he would say, but
I kind of feel bad to y'all that we're bashing on you.
Yeah, we love you. We think you're fantastic, but
Yeah.
we think that you didn't want to be on this show.
You have great
I mean,
abs.
exactly, yeah.
And you're probably so happy to be back in LA walking red carpets talking to us two.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
And you got your abs on the show before you left, so it's a
Hey,
bonus.
he's gonna get some work out of this.
Oh,
he's
for
gonna
sure.
get some
Right,
kind of
right,
attention.
definitely.
I think he's maybe still gunning for his own like romantic reality show. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Didn't Ocho Cinco do that and that lifted him off, and I think that's probably what T.O. is going for. That's why he claims to not have a girlfriend.
yeah.
Claims.
When there's a lady we see him walking the red carpet with all the time, a beautiful young lady.
Right. Well, wealthy, I hear too.
Very wealthy, very successful.
You should have called up
heiress.
your girlfriend to put a little.
Yeah, put a
money
little
in.
change in your pocket.
Oh my God, I know.
What's up? Okay, well now we have to say who it is.
Yeah, you might.
So
go ahead.
Eden Sassoon, who is super nice, She is a good friend of Tio's. Like I said, I see them walking the red carpet all the time. They claim they are just friends, but there's a lot of speculation. And she is the heir to Vidal Sassoon. That's her dad.
Yeah.
She has got money. And she's a classy lady. I feel like she wants to give to charity. Why wasn't she busting out big checks for him?
I'm pretty sure last season they did a task with Vidal Sassoon. I'm pretty sure they
I think
did.
you're right. Yeah.
A hair, I think it was a blow dryer or something like that. It was like with products, and they had to market this, and they had like a presentation. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, Eden, where were you at with them fat checks, girl?
Yeah, there's a few, like even Kate, supposedly she's dating a wealthy
a billionaire
boyfriend right now.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused.
Well, you know, I mean, let's keep in mind this was months prior, so you don't know the relationships
Right,
then.
that's
But I
true.
mean, I don't know how long. You know, Tio has been with this lady, so you know, maybe they were. Do you think they were tight then? How far? What's the tight?
It's been a long time since I've
Yeah.
seen them. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
then that
quite a
time
I don't know.
period-
I need to get up back on my stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My stalking
Our celeb
device.
stalking.
yeah. Well, shall we transition to news and gossip?
Oh yeah. I like it. I like it.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I'm sad we don't have AJ here to give us the ratings of this episode.
Oh yeah, and the
this-
math. She could do some math.
But I'm curious when she's sick, by the way, everyone. So hopefully she'll be
yeah.
back.
You know what? Please tweet her some good well wishes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Jay
send her
Rochester.
good wishes for sure.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll get better soon.
She's our comic relief on this show.
I know, right?
So sorry if we don't have you giggling tonight.
She always has the really gossip, juicy stuff.
Yeah.
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 Well, I did mention how Geraldo was wondering how he went from hero to villain. But also, there were some other great interviews this week. Oh, something super interesting that I think we should touch on. We talked about this whole Cosby thing. When Keisha left, Vivica Fox has now come out and said, hey, I was on the Cosby show too, and I also think he was great. She said, I defend him and stand by him. I think she just wanted to say, hey, remember, I was on that show too. I'm an actress too. Put my name in the controversy.
It's just not the right time to be like bragging about your time on the Cosby Show.
Right?
No.
It's just kind of like let it, like, you know, even if you were, I think you'd probably try to be like, you know, let's just not. It's not the right time.
Yeah.
And why
You
does
know?
she need to get in on the discussion? If she doesn't really have anything to say, if she didn't see anything,
Right.
Yeah.
shut it down.
Right. I guess she just knows. She realizes she'll make headlines if she supports it because a lot of people have been.
Right.
Anything to do for the attention.
It's just, yeah, it's not genuine. I don't find it to be genuine. It's attention seeking and thirsty, but that's
For
me.
sure. And maybe, I thought maybe that was an indicator that she doesn't last very much longer in the show. You know, if she was a final contestant or she really got up there, she maybe would feel like her PR was coming and she
Yeah.
would wait for it. But she really tried to get in on this Cosby combo. Nothing else too earth shattering. Donald Trump said on David Letterman's show that for Gilbert Gottfried, it was time for him to go home. And Gilbert Gottfried said on the Today Show that he said, I walked into this show thinking, what a bunch of idiots come on this show.
He
I
can
just thought
always
that was cute. I miss those quips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss the comic relief that he brought to that show.
he can make
Yeah.
anyone
JF
laugh
Celebrity
anytime. Just he's just funny.
Right. I watched a local interview out of Massachusetts where they interviewed Donald and Ivanka, and basically they were talking about different contestants, and it was, you know, it was a local show, so I was curious to see like what he would say because it wasn't necessarily like Access Hollywood, you know. So what's he gonna say? And they mentioned Johnny Damon, and he said, "Oh, he did such a good job. He, you know, he said he's a very strong player. We haven't crowned the winner yet because, you know, that's the finale, but he just did such a good job." So I'm like, does that mean that Johnny makes it pretty far, and is he one of the finalists? It's just the timing. I went back and rewatched it. I was like,
Although Donald Trump is really good at planting those kind of little seeds,
Yeah.
you know, and he's always talking up the drama on the show and always saying how great the show is. I wonder if that's just a thing to get people thinking, keep them watching.
Could just be some gossip.
And where
Yeah.
did you say this was a local interview for?
This was for a Massachusetts NBC
So Johnny's
affiliate.
huge there. So
And,
he
yeah.
he
Yeah.
wants to make sure that
Yeah.
he says some stuff about Johnny.
Right.
That'll,
He
that'll
talked
get
a lot
the pickup
about
on
him.
the interview.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to some predictions.
Yeah.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So. Yes. So the teams have changed, and I know that there's a huge controversy coming up with Kenya and Vivica, something regarding a cell phone and a tweet. Now, these two are on separate teams. So at some point, they have to come together, and something's going to happen. Other than the boardroom, I don't really see them coming together, so I'm wondering if they're going to be around for a while and then be put back together.
Well, they they shuffle the teams when the teams get lopsided.
Yeah.
And that really only takes, when you're down to this many celebrities, that only takes a task or two for the teams to get incredibly one-sided.
I normally would say I think it takes a few weeks, but because we're doubling up on these episodes, it really could be like a week until we have to do that again. But yeah.
Well, I predict that producers saw what happened in this episode. When they were shooting the show, they were like, hey, that was a great twist. This really spiced it up. Maybe we should do some more stuff. So I'm thinking maybe next week we'll get another cool twist or something unexpected, and I hope so.
Yeah,
it was great.
Keep
It was
it
really
fresh.
great.
Yeah.
I love the twists and turns.
And of course, next week it's Joan Rivers, so she's coming on.
I'm so excited to see it, but so so at the same
It's
time.
going to be a
know.
ratings mega hit.
I hope
During
so.
award
I
season,
truly hope so.
You miss her so much, especially.
Yeah, she has such a presence to her. Even it was like when I was watching that quick 20-second preview, I forgot she was gone because I was like, oh, there's Joan. You know, she has such a presence to her.
There's just no one like her, and it's so sad that she's gone. I miss her.
Yeah.
No, and Donald has just gone on and on praising her for how nice she was to all the contestants and just the presence that she brought when she came on the show, just lifting everyone up. And he has said some really, really beautiful things about her. And, you know, for Donald Trump to talk about someone really positively takes a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I almost said something distasteful. Let's move on.
Yeah, well, I hope that she is on. I heard that she's on a couple episodes being
That's
the
what I
guest
thought,
judge,
yeah,
or
two.
you know, this
I
big
think it's 2
podcast.
episodes.
Yeah, so
But I wonder if it's going to be
back.
back to back tomorrow night, though. Those might be the 2 episodes.
Yes.
It, you know, the way that preview was cut, it looked that way. It looked like her final television appearance.
And he did say final television appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called it her final series, which her final series would have been Fashion Police. So, again, the Donald making it big,
Yeah.
exaggerating a smidgen, but we don't hate it.
Right. Well, final thoughts. I think we pretty much wrapped everything up.
Lisa's going far. Geraldo's going far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two,
like it
they're
or not,
set, I
Geraldo's
think.
on his way.
Yeah.
I think Lorenzo is ripe for the picking.
Oh my gosh.
Same with Sean. Oh my God, I loved how Donald Trump randomly in the boardroom is like, Sean, you look so gorgeous
Well, girl
today.
finally put some makeup on. She's just finally got a little lip gloss
pink
on, and
will
Donald.
look good on anyone. Okay, pink Joe. Pink's an attitude, not a color.
I think that he was thinking.
like that.
I was thinking he was like, you know, mulling over the last time the attention was on her, which was with her visitor. And so he was like, oh, I gotta show this girl some love. Because I feel like, you know, we outed too much information.
Right, that's probably just what he thinks of when he looks at her now. So he looked at her and then he's like, "Oh, gotta say something nice."
Yeah,
Pink
awkward.
lips. Yeah, right.
Well, I hope Ion stands tall for a while, and I'm interested to see what Kenya can bring to the table. And it's time for her to be a project manager.
Yeah,
Please.
Like, let's move with that.
Right.
So, with that said, ladies, where can we find you in the world of social media?
Oh, tweet me at Christy Reports. Let me know what you think about all this. I'd love to talk to you guys. Don't be shy.
Yes.
Tweet me.
And tweet me at DressJessXO. And my interview that I mentioned earlier with Terrell will be on
where
my
can we find
blog
Oh, really?
coming up either like tomorrow or Wednesday. So if you want to see it, you can check that out.
Yeah, check that
I
out.
definitely want to see Tio hit on you. For
It's
sure.
DressJessXO.com.
Sounds good. And you can find me here at AfterBuzz hosting The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And you can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. That'll do it for us, AfterBuzzers.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.